So I'm Amanda Krantz. I'm the executive director here at BendTECH. Thank you. That's Jordan Jones in the back. He's our community manager. Michael, our former community manager, showed up. Where is Michael? And so one of the reasons that BendTECH puts on the UnConference is part of our mission to support entrepreneurs and startups. And so that's why we're here today. One of the things that's fun about the UnConference is everyone's supportive. So these people are out here putting themselves out, and so we all have these cowbells to cheer and have a good time. But we can't do this without our sponsors. So we have some great sponsors this year. First Interstate Bank, City of Bend, Business Oregon, Fat Beam, and First Interstate Bank and Fat Beam are both in the back. So if you guys have questions, you can talk to them. First Interstate Bank is going to hop up here in a minute. St. Charles, Price Frank, Adele Software Foundation, District 2 East, which is Brooks Resources. That is where, if you haven't heard, we're going to be expanding. We are staying here. That's now confirmed. We extended our lease here, so we're staying here. And we are also expanding to the Northwest Crossing area, where we're going to share with 5 Talent. We'll have dedicated desks and flex desks up there. So if you guys are interested, we have a sign-up sheet backed by Jordan, and we can tell you guys more about that as well. The 1001, this building here, and Thump, that is Kelsey and Katie back there. They are working their butts off for you guys. So cheering is nice, but tipping is better. So please tip them. And I will hand it over to Andrea Zuckman at First Interstate Bank.
Thank you, Amanda. So First Interstate Bank, we are happy to be a sponsor for this event today. We think that startups play an important role in keeping a really diverse economy locally here, and we really just want to thank all of you guys because the ideas that you bring to the community are a crucial part. So instead of getting up and spending a lot of time talking about what First Interstate is about, I encourage you all to come meet myself or Janelle in the back booth there when you're done, and best of luck to all of the presenters today. Thank you.
$500 for first place, $1,000 for second place, and $500 for third place. Voting happens by all of you, so everyone should have a white voting card. Voting opens up at 4:05 and closes at 4:15, so you have to stay and vote during that period. Besides the prizes for the people that are pitching, we also have some pretty awesome raffle prizes for all of you. So the raffle ticket, again, is red. And the prizes we have this year are this wonderful banana phone. It's a Bluetooth phone that you can talk into, created by one of our BendTECH members who is not here because he also works for Visa and he's traveling. But we have 3 banana phones to hand out. We also have Dubs Labs. And we have Eric here as another BendTECH member. He has $100 in prizes for Moonbow Labs, or this Moonbow. Anyway, we'll explain more. That's going to happen at 2:55. We have a wonderful Thumb Hydro Flask that we will be raffling off. And last but not least, K1 Racing. If you guys haven't heard about it, it's the old roller rink that is now K1 Electric Go-Karts. So we have a membership and a race. And let's see here, and that's it for my announcements. I will hand it over to Kelly Kearsley, our BendTECH president of the board, and you've probably seen her around. She's been doing this for a long time. She's going to help make sure everybody stays on time.
Hello. Okay, so I'm just going to go over some rules. Actually, before I do that, I feel like we should acknowledge this is the 10th UnConference, which I think is there anyone here that was at the first UnConference? You should just come up and give us a hug. No? Yet? For real? Oh. But I remember, I think I've been doing this for maybe 5 or 6 years. The first UnConference that I went to was actually in this building when it was a construction site. Yeah. So I don't know if people were there. But the fun thing about the UnConference is that it's always been casual. We try and limit the rules. That said, there are some rules, but we try to keep them a little loose. So I'm going to go over those with you right now. So each of our founders waited in line for about 2 hours to claim their spot they think would be the best spot to pitch in. They get 3 minutes to pitch. They get 2 minutes for questions. We're going to be really strict on the time. Keep in mind these people, they have early stage companies. Their ideas might be more conceptual at this point. So when you ask your questions, keep that as your framework. Don't be a jerk. Last couple things of housekeeping. Well, actually, first I'll say the winners are going to be determined by audience vote. That's all of you, so definitely stick around. 4:05 to 4:15. What's that?
Volcano Veggies, the one before, was there?
Oh, Volcano Veggies, who pitched at UnConference. Where's Shannon?
I'm right here.
Do you remember? Not you.
Oh.
You're so lovely, but not you.
Okay.
Shannon with Volcano Veggies pitched at UnConference. They have been gracious and left a little, is it a coupon? A little flyer for Volcano Veggies, so that's fun to see. In terms of prizes, so the voting will go, we have the same app if anyone was at Pep Talk, it will look like that. It actually alphabetizes the company names, so if you have a company in mind, you're like, yes, this person I'm going to vote for, look at their name on the board and then look at them in alphabetical order on your app. Is there any kind of kidding? The winners get the cash as well as, I think the funnest part, we're just going to throw a bunch of fake money at you. It'll be raining money down. What's that? Oh, and all 3 winners win a 6-month Flex membership to BendTECH. So if you're not part of our community, we really want you to be. We've got 2 minutes. Yeah, I think that's it. The last thing with the cowbells, some people are like, why cowbells? It's not a cyclocross race. I think that, or is it? I think the thing is we're going to see a lot of pitches and clapping can get a little tiring, but even people at the very end still need to feel your encouragement. So if your hands are just tired, I brought this, it's an automatic hand clapper. I use that. But if your hands are tired, like ring that cowbell and just like send these people love and support because it takes a lot to get up here and to pitch your idea. And particularly when your idea is kind of new and early, give them great feedback. If you have a comment instead of a question, that's fine too. So I think we should get going. All right? Right on schedule. Woo! All right, first up we have Runi Campbell with GREENBAUX. Woo! You can stand next to you guys.
Hi there, Runi from GREENBAUX. So firstly, I would like to tell everybody that the idea that I have is very much an idea stage. It's conceptual. There's nothing behind it, but hopefully we'll get more traction after today. So how many of you here go to the grocery store? Almost all of us. So I'm here to talk about a very important and well-known issue, and that is the single-use plastic grocery bags. By one estimate alone, there's about 20 billion of these that are being dispensed by just one major retailer every year. So you can do the math when you take into consideration the entire world and all the grocery stores that are dispensing these bags. Basically, they're just clogging up our waterways, clogging up our landfills, and we need a solution. One of the solutions that is being proposed is the grocery bag ban. That doesn't seem to work. It goes up and down due to politics and stuff. The other part of that solution is bring your own bag or buy your own bag, kind of buy your own grocery bag or bring your own cloth bag kind of thing. And that's a good solution. It's part of the whole entire solution that we are also proposing. One of the issues related to that is human forgetfulness. So you can buy as many bags as you want, but if you don't load them to your car, you don't take them with you, then what happens? Well, you're back to square one, or if you're going to a different city and for an extended period of time, and you forget your bag, then what do? You're stuck there again with these kind of plastic grocery bags. So one of the solutions that we are proposing with GREENBAUX is to provide customers a way to get these reusable hot grocery bags, as well as foldable cardboard boxes that are flattened out. They can unflatten them and load their groceries right at the point where they need them the most, which is the grocery store. And the way to do this is to have a vending machine that will dispense out these flattened grocery bags as well as cardboard boxes, which can then be recycled. The customer then accesses the vending machine using an account that they previously created, and based on the subscription model, they can access these grocery bags and boxes, load their groceries, and off they go home, and then they can recycle them, return them, etc. So that's one part of the solution. The other part is the mobile phone app, which will help them basically to track where these kiosks are located. That way they know that when they're going on a grocery run, they don't need to pack a bag or anything. Everything is made available to them. So that's the solution that we are proposing with GREENBAUX. Like I said, this is very much an idea stage, a conceptual stage. But if there's anybody out here that wants to collaborate and build a business model around it, please do contact me. It's greenbaux@gmail.com. There you go. greenbaux@gmail.com. It's really an idea stage, but if a grocery store can have space for BendTECH vending machine, which nobody frankly uses, you can definitely have something for this that will create a solution. Thank you. Have a great Any questions?
Thoughts? People? Yes.
Will you, as you're thinking about the business model, will the grocery stores get some kind of a...
Right, so for this to work, we will definitely need to have the grocery stores on board. We'll need to work with them. Just like you have kiosks for Redbox or tag vending machine, there'll need to be space for this kind of a model. And of course, going forward, you can always tie it in with the grocery store. They need to be on board with this and have some kind of an incentive to customers who have their frequent user cards, Safeway card or Fred My card, and have some kind of a tie-up with that. So that's part of the business model. And the third part is also that this can be quite lucrative in like a mall as well, where you can have a bag vending kiosk for different, maybe different stores. So all part of the solution. It won't solve the problem, but definitely contributing to the solution. Thank you.
I think it would be great if you include like those meshy bags for produce in there too, so you can buy that.
Right, absolutely. Like I said, this is still a concept. It's still an idea. There's no business model behind it. All those things would come in once that one is formulated. So the flattened grocery bag as well as flattened boxes, which can carry a certain amount of load based on your groceries, all based on your subscription. So if you want to subscribe for a larger bag or a larger box, all that is part of the solution.
With Heart-Driven Business Academy.
Hi there, thank you guys so much. I'm Tess Ball with the Heart-Driven Business Academy. How many of you have a social media profile? Please raise your hands, keep them up. Awesome. And how many of you keep them up? Awesome. How many of you in the last month have seen some form of 3 easy steps to your first $100,000 month, or your 5 quick marketing hacks? Yes, there were no hands that went down. In the next month alone, half a million new businesses will form in the United States. And half of them will close within their first 5 years. That's a lot. So this problem doesn't just affect new business owners. Half of our working population in the States is employed by a small business owner. So why the failure rate? I think it has to do with the lack of systems thinking. We have a lot of internet gurus presenting very simple solutions to very complex problems. Nobody's teaching anybody how to think. About 3 years ago, I opened a small movement studio in Seattle, Washington. And for about a decade before that, I worked in corporate marketing and advertising with access to a legal department and financial services and strategy. And it's a damn good thing I had that access, because if I didn't, I probably would have been part of that failure statistic. A lot of my friends don't have access to that level of education. So I created the Heart-Driven Business Academy, where I partner with industry-leading lawyers and CPAs and coaches to offer online education. So we launched our first wave of courses, Business 101, in December on the 1st, and then over the next year, plan to build out to Business 201, which will include things like leadership skills, hiring, team building. And in order to get there, I'm not an internet guru. I'm not going to do it by myself. I have one skill, it's marketing. I want to increase the level of collaboration I'm able to do and offer to people. So that comes to my ask. I want guest bloggers. If any of you has any information to share with small business owners, I want you to be a part of it. And then number 2, I'm looking for beta testers. If you want access to really high-level thinking and you're starting a business, please come see me. And I know you all have social media, so if you want to pull your phones out right now and send me an emoji heart on Instagram, it's Heart-Driven Business Academy. Feel free to do that and I'll get back with you with all the information on beta testing and guest blogging. I also want to win, so I'm just going to ask you right now to just vote for me. I'm just going to put that out there. Thank you guys so much.
Can you slowly repeat your company name?
Heart-Driven Business Academy. If you think of a little heart driving down, cool. Heart-Driven Business Academy.
Other questions for Tess? Right there.
2 questions. What's your revenue model, number 1? Number 2 is that if you have guest bloggers, is there a revenue share within that revenue model for them?
Yes, and yes. So the revenue model is course-based. So users can buy access to information a la carte. So if you just want marketing, you can enter that. If you just want legal, you can enter that. There's also I call it super duper access. That's the official title of it. And it's lifetime access to all of the content we create. So that is the initial revenue model. I'd love to do in-person intensive events eventually, where we have a lawyer, a CPA, a marketing pro in the room, and people get a one-stop shop to create their business. For guest blogging, you have access to the directory. So, oh, I forgot to mention this. Part of it is a directory where you can get access to trusted professionals. Like, nobody wants to Yelp for an IP attorney. I'm guessing. So yeah, there's access to the directory to be a part of the education.
What online curriculum tool do you use?
MemberSpace linked up with Squarespace to provide the education itself. I'm a big fan of low code, no code. Although very much appreciate developers.
Hello everyone, this is very exciting. My name is Ken Shapelka, and this is The Abyss. This is a musical instrument product, and it's a product I designed and I built it here in Bend. It was created for guitar players that want to play through 2 or more amplifiers. It sits on the floor, and by stepping on 2 of the 3 switches, you can select playing through 1 amp, another amp, or both amps together. If you step on a 3rd switch, it will boost up the volume to play, for example, if you want to do a guitar solo. And, oh yeah, so if you select, I have a little chip sheet back here, it helps me out. But if you want to select, if you're playing through a selected amp and you want to increase or decrease the level of the amplifier you're playing through, all you have to do is press and hold one of the amp switches down to increase or decrease the level. And it has a lot of additional features. Sometimes if you play through 2 amps together, you'll get a hum. It has a isolation circuitry in it to separate the amps, to eliminate that hum. Has a phase switch to, in case one amp is out of phase with another, to thicken up the sound. There's also another very special feature of this is it has a MIDI interface, which is an industry standard interface, so you can remotely control it if you want to have a larger foot pedal and you want to change amps or go directly to gains of the amplifier. You can do that remotely. It is expandable. If it's this 4th jack over here on your right side, you can use that to connect to additional Abyss units. You can connect, I've tested it with up to 4 units, which means you can play up to 8 guitar amplifiers, turning them on and off as you see fit, which I would like to try sometime. That sounds fantastic to have that many amps going at once. So it is now in production. I'm happy to say that I just shipped the first 5 units of this just last week to 5 paying customers. I'm very happy about that. The price, thank you very much. The price is, the street price is $279. And now I need money to buy parts and to ramp it up and to get these to musicians all over the world. Thank you very much. Please speak up because I can't hear that well.
You're a musician.
Yes.
Are you fabbing in the United States or overseas?
Some of the parts, it's an electronic device, so of course a lot of the electronic components, of course, come from Indonesia and Mexico and China and so on. The sheet metal is manufactured here in Oregon, and the printed circuit board is currently being made in China, but we go back and forth between American manufacturers and Chinese. So we try and do as much as we can. Sometimes it's not practical.
What are your margins? Or do you know yet?
Pardon me? Yes. So the question was, what is the margin on this? So it does have a street price of $279, but my cost right now in small volumes is under $90, and I think I can get that down to about $60 in modest volumes.
So, what's your competition? Why are you better?
What is my who are my competitors? Excellent question. This is definitely a niche market. There are AV boxes. It's called an AV box in general. On the market, I always strive to make something that nobody else makes. So I try and stay ahead of the game by just offering something that you can't buy anywhere else, and I try and lead the pack as much as I can. So there are, of course, many manufacturers that make AV boxes, effects boxes, and so on. And but I try and just hit it from a unique angle to make products that nobody else can buy. Okay. Thank you very much.
And next up, we have Campbell from Amble.
Ample.
Amble.
Ample.
Yay, clap. Yay.
Hello. So, my inspiration for my product is this little creature right here. Can you see her? No, she's down in the hole. So this is Pipsqueak. So as I tell you this story, it's not something I'm necessarily proud of, but it is the driving force and inspiration. So Pipsqueak goes everywhere with me. We commute to work Monday through Friday on an electric bicycle. It's a performance built by me bicycle that goes way too fast at times and is completely illegal to drive on the road, as you mentioned. But anyway, regardless, we were headed to work on a Friday morning. It was about 7:45, and on our path was a railroad crossing. This railroad crossing in the past was always really, really bad. It was full of chuck holes, and you had to slow down. Well, the first week that they had replaced the railroad crossing, it was a Friday, and like I said, we were late, and I'm not going to tell you why we were late, but as we are approaching the railroad crossing, ding, 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 and I thought to myself, well, I can make it. And so as I proceeded forward, I swear, the mechanism of this railroad crossing started out slow, and then right as we got, between me and this gentleman here, it just dropped. And so I ducked, and I felt the backpack tug as I went underneath, and so I pull over and I whip my backpack around, and I look in my backpack, and there's just a bloody pile of chihuahua. I thought I killed it. And I sat down on the curb, and I just was like, oh shit, I just killed it. And as my face was buried in the backpack against hers, her good eye opened, and a blood bubble come out of her nose, popped, and I could tell there was life. She was alive. So I threw my backpack on. I went up the hill to the veterinary clinic that we just happened to do a new TI for their office that like a month before. So I kind of knew these people, but I must have looked like, I was falling, and I just ditched my bike as we get in there. I went right past the reception, and...
Can I ask you the first question?
Okay, what is your business idea?
2 months. Okay. So it's a pet helmet. So we got some it's a pet helmet, and if you go online and you look for a pet helmet, you are going to find a bunch of costumey, like little plastic little things that are by no means going to protect them. One thing, the major thing that I learned about this from the vet, from the x-rays of my poor dog's broken head, was that dogs are extremely sensitive on their nose. They've got huge sinus cavities, and if they get a bloody nose and it doesn't come out their nostrils, then there's a strong likelihood they will die because their sinus cavities are right behind their eyes. They'll fill up with blood. Oh, no good. So, anything that's offered out there offers no protection for their snout, their nose. And so I worked on various. Come on, you got a model. So, we got the Darth Vader. So Darth Vader kind of works, and then this was number 2 prototype. This offers a little bit more protection for nose. The idea is to make something that is DIY kit. And with any dog, you're going to have small, medium, large, and they're going to have snouts that are short, medium, and long. So with those parameters, so this is my last 20 seconds. So, yeah, this one is.
We're out of time. All right. Name of company?
Ample.
Remember Ample, dog helmet.
Product be more like Pip Lid.
Pip Lid.
Her name's Pipsqueak, by the way.
A Pip Lid. Thank you so much, Chris.
And okay, next up, Megan with TRADDER.
Hi everyone. I'm trying not to feel bad about the fact that I'm the only person with no cards, but I'm gonna have them anyway. Okay, so my name is Megan Bolt. I'm a student at OSU Cascades, and during the summer months, I work up in Alaska as a fish cutter at a fishing lodge. This means that I am often working 10 to 12 hours per day on the dock and sometimes on the boat in the unpredictable weather that is Alaska. So that means one of my most essential pieces of gear are my fishing bibs, which I would have worn today, but they got lost in shipping from Alaska, so I'm kind of sad about that. But so just picture like rainproof overalls if you don't know what they are, but they're like one of the most essential pieces of gear that I wear. However, there's a serious lack of women's fishing gear currently on the market. I'm left to wearing oversized, ill-fitting, and ugly bibs that are made for men. This can create fatigue over long work days, get easily caught on stuff, and it just, I don't know, it's just kind of unfortunate that there isn't anything that's really made for women like me in the industry. It's as if I need a pair of jeans, and the only section that's available is the men's section, so I could probably find a pair of jeans that will fit me, but it's just not ideal. So currently there's one brand on the market, GREENBAUX, which I'm sure a bunch of you have heard of, that makes fishing bibs for women. Out of the 4 options that they do offer, out of the 22 that they offer for men, they lack in technicality, adjustability, and are just ugly. And I would just like to have some cute clothes that I can wear, even though I'm working in Alaska. So we can do better. That's why I set out to create TRADDER, a brand of maritime fishing gear for women in the industry. We will begin with the foul weather fishing bib, adding a better fit for women with different design options and extra features such as a drop pant zip and extra pockets and such like that. And then to expand from there. Our mission is not only to create gear for women in the industry, but to simultaneously empower them by recognizing them as a vital part of the fishing industry. Our goal is to make the marine industry and industries like the marine industry as much a man's industry as it is a woman's industry. And to begin by creating gear. So TRADDER, I believe, has exponential room to expand in our own industry and into other industries throughout the marine culture. And this includes research such as marine biology, and then I think we can also expand into other industries such as forestry and firefighting, for example, where women need gear, but there is gear often not made specifically for them. So the fishing industry in the US is a $68 billion industry, while 34.1% of people who fish are women, up to 20% of those in commercial fishing are women as well. It's no doubt a male-dominated field. However, with women increasing in fishing every year and in male-dominated industries in general, it's time we recognize these women as plentiful and valuable enough to create gear made for their bodies. It's time that we create gear that is TRADDER.
Do you have prototypes already built?
I do not yet. That is my next step. So, I'm sorry. Do you have prototypes built? That is actually my next step. And one thing that I really, really need is connections to the designers. If anybody knows anybody who's a designer and potentially or preferably has experience in fishing, that would be awesome. I would love to connect with them or connect with other women, business owners in women-centric businesses. I'm just looking, I mean, I would love to win, please vote for me, but I would also love connections and introductions if you know anyone that you think can help me. And I'm looking kind of for a co-founder as well. Yes?
2 questions, take your pick. What would you do with $2,500
Yeah.
business? And I actually forgot the other question, so there you go.
Oh, perfect. I would pick that one. So what would I do with $2,500 is the question. So develop a prototype is what I would do. And then after developing that prototype, I want to launch a Kickstarter campaign. So any money that I get will go to launching that Kickstarter campaign, to creating a marketing video to get that around. And I think that could be really successful. So those first 2 steps are what I would spend the money on, and then, yep, go from there. So.
Time for one more question. Anyone?
I got a question.
Yes.
So you said there's not much competition. Why do you think that is? That they're just not seeing
Yeah, no, that's a good question. You said there's not much competition. Why do I think that is? Yeah, I'm actually pretty shocked myself that there isn't more options. And then GREENBIN's the one option that does create it. I think like the women's, it's not as big as the men's market for fishing, and I think maybe it's just now like coming into light that women are a valuable part of the industry. And I don't know, like we're a smaller part of the industry, but we're still a part of the industry. And I'm honestly surprised myself that people haven't launched into it. And I think what really differentiates us too is I really want to create a brand that like empowers women as much as we make gear. So, yeah.
So I just want to mention really quick, one of the things that's wonderful about this community is collaboration. So I first saw Megan post with Adam Kranicki, who's back there in the back. He is a board member of BendTECH, but also runs the Oregon State University Cascades Campus Co-Lab. And Megan is actually a current student, and he puts on a great program over there as well. So for early stage companies, we've got Adam back there. Really appreciate all of his help. And Adam and also Bob Burnett over here, raise your hand. Bob has a lot of experience in the government. He moved here like a lot of other people working remotely and heard about a small business association grant. $50,000. First time we ever applied for a grant, and we won. Thank you to both Adam and Bob. So now we have to figure out what we're going to do with that, which means you have to come up with programs to help people like you. If you have ideas that you want to actually sell to the government, it's SBIR, STTR, so it's technology, money that comes from the government to provide basically products that the government finds useful. So more on that later, keep an eye out, but thanks to those guys. And now I'd like to introduce Eric Dubs, a BendTECH member who's going to do our first raffle.
Hey guys, I'm Eric Dubs. I've been a member of BendTECH since 2016, so I've been here for a while. We have an office right over there. I started a company called Dubs Labs, and we make these headphones called bedphones that you can wear to sleep. They're super thin, infinitely adjustable. They lie flat against your ear, and you can lay down on your pillow and fall asleep listening to music, meditation, podcasts, audiobooks. They're great for watching Netflix in bed. So for this holiday season, we're actually launching a new line of our Moonbow sleep products. And so this line includes a weighted blanket. If you haven't tried a weighted blanket yet, they're amazing. So, yeah, that's the 20-pounder right there. You put it over you. You put it over you, and it's kind of like the pillow's giving you a giant hug all night long, and it lowers your stress levels, it increases your melatonin, it increases your serotonin. They're great. We're also launching a big eye mask that blocks out light from all angles and covers your ears, as Amanda is demonstrating right there. And then we're launching our adjustable plush memory pillow, and this is kind of cool. This is actually a product I've been wanting for a really long time, so couldn't find out one that was good on the market, so I decided to make it myself. It looks a little used because I've been using it. So it's a really plush memory foam pillow, and this pillow would normally be way too thick for me. And so what you do is you just unzip it. Would you mind holding this one? You just unzip the pillow, and then you can pull out layers of memory foam to adjust the pillow to your height. Yeah. And so we're giving away a raffle ticket for $100 to our online store, and if anyone would like to come check out our products, we have an office right for that. Oh, and there's a 20% off coupon, so just use the code, what was it? UnConference 2019 for 20% off. Thanks.
So check your red tickets.
All right, the winner of $100 towards Moonbow Sleep products, moonbowsleep.com, is number 198057. Yes.
Eric, I thought was part of what makes BendTECH and co-working in general kind of cool. He's been here, we've watched him develop his business, hire people in the co-working space. He's rad, but he's not pitching to UnConference, so don't look for his name. Okay, next up we have Project GreenBin and Zach Heninger.
So my name's Zach Heninger. I'm another Oregon State student here at Oregon State Cascades. I'm the founder of Project GreenBin. I've been doing business for just over 2 months now. It's going off slow and steady. I've got 28 residential customers and 1 commercial account currently. I'm basically running this pilot project to get up to 85 residential customers and a few more commercial accounts. My current single commercial account is C4K, Coffee for Kids. I don't know if you've heard of them in town. They're a great company to be working with and collaborating with. In simple terms, I am a compost service that delivers all household food scraps to a local farm, Rain Shadow Organics. They're located in between Sisters and Redmond. And they then utilize those food scraps for their composting needs, as well as my customers can receive compost back as a part of our service twice a year. 1 bag in the spring and 1 bag in the fall. So my residential service has 2 bins, 2-gallon kitchen caddy, one's right here, makes for ease of disposal, as well as a 6-gallon bin, which I do my pickups from. We utilize compostable bags to make it very clean and convenient for all of our customers. Basically, I provide the compostable bags for this 2-gallon kitchen caddy, and then I reline the 6-gallon bin every time I pick it up, as well as clean that bin for you, keep it very clean. Customer ease of use and cleanliness is a big motto with Project GreenBin. As we all know, decomposing food is kind of a disgusting thing. We want to make sure that we're the only ones really dealing with that, not the customers. So, and then also the commercial program. We don't utilize compostable bags with that program. What we do utilize is a bin exchange program, 23-gallon trash bins, which we do, when we pick it up, we replace it with a clean bin for you. Again, and insisting on that cleanliness and ease of use. This whole idea started. I've worked in the customer service industry of serving tables, and I've seen how much food we waste as humans, and I've also realized how much of a resource that is to local agriculture. So we can essentially close this loop that we have. We have the capability to do so today. And that's what GreenBin is to close that loop and be the connection between that current gap to basically be a part of the overall solution of global issues such as climate change, soil degradation, and biodiversity loss. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to me. Any questions?
What's your residential customer cost, including the 2 bags of compost a year?
Yeah, so it's so what is the cost of the residential service? It's $19.99 per month. That includes the compostable bags. That includes a weekly pickup, as well as if you want to opt in for that finished compost back, you receive 1 bag in a 15-pound bag in the spring and a 15-pound bag in the fall. And the commercial cost, yeah. So the commercial cost is an initial fee of $60 for that first bin, and then every additional bin is $25.
Just you driving around in your truck picking up people's trash?
Yeah, is it just me driving around? Yes, it's just me driving around in a 95 Ford Ranger that was actually gifted to me from Phil with the Broomsman. I don't know if we're familiar with him and his company. He's done wonderful things, and he's invested in me and helping me get this started. So, how do you sign up? ProjectGreenBin.com. My SEO is not the best yet, but if you type that in perfectly, ProjectGreenBin.com, you will find that. It's also a link in my bio on Instagram and Facebook.
I'm an SEO.
You're an SEO, which I could use some help, definitely. Like we were saying, this lovely lady was saying earlier about Squarespace. That's what I've been utilizing. Trying to figure it out. Thank you. Okay.
One more question?
I'd love to.
I've been a customer for 3 weeks and I love it. It's just your bags are great. You don't have to. I just leave it out on the porch, and the box is locked. the way it's made, and so I think that's great for animals too. So thank you for doing this for the community.
Thanks. What was your name? Tomoko, thank you so much.
Okay, we're speeding through this, you guys. We have Senior Squared, Francis Rogers. Come on up, Francis. Woo! Yeah.
Hi, I'm Francis Rogers, and I'm a senior at Summit High School. And this is Barb, a golden senior. I actually picked up off the street on the way here. But we are going to introduce Senior Squared.
We welcome you to the idea of Senior Squared, a paid internship. Freddie and I are two seniors. I'm a golden senior, and she's a diamond senior in high school. And we took the initiative to team up to bridge a gap between the two generations here in the whole community of Central Oregon. We want to create a mutual cross-generational mentorship between Gen Z, and baby boomers.
We believe this gap between senior generation exists for several reasons. One being, which is the lack of common interest between the two. We find that both Barb's generation, baby boomers, and my generation, Gen Z, rarely interact with each other unless it is at family events. We both want to change that. We began to design this project, Senior Squared, in hopes of changing the foundation for our community to be more cohesive.
And often, golden seniors don't know how to access their bank account online. Get an email address, is that you? Or check their email. They don't know how to attach or open a file, send a photo, hook up a printer, or even understand the terms used in digital information.
More often than not, a diamond senior, a young adult, has emerged from the most influential digital consumer cohort, as the digital experience is the human experience. We find that it is important that golden seniors are given the opportunity to enhance their digital skills, since they are a part of the new digital era, as it is a way of life. With our skill set, we are able to help golden seniors learn the struggles Barb stated and help introduce a digital lifestyle.
And on the other side of the equation, as a golden senior, I can help contribute to this call to action by helping guide a diamond senior who is entering the global community. I can mentor by talking about the importance of critical thinking, self-reliance, the benefits of understanding history, the value of hard work, and interdependence. Ultimately, we Goldens need to keep the diamonds with their feet under them.
Providing collaboration. Go ahead. Providing collaboration will help reduce multiple skills getting lost in translation and lost forever. These are essential to navigating the future. As a result of Senior Squared, we want to As Senior Squared, we want to change opinions and perspectives in each other's generations in order to mend the gap.
And we want to start with a fresh point of view, paving the way for future seniors of all generations.
If we win today, we plan on using the money for a scholarship fund for future seniors. Please vote for us.
So is it an app? How do people sign up? How do you get your two seniors and get them connected?
Okay, so she said, is it an app, and how will you get your two seniors connected? So pretty much, we want to start ultimately a nonprofit. So we want to be able to do a 4 to 6 week internship where two seniors that we will ultimately pair up based off interests and if you like the person. And you will have a meeting spot. We are started with cross-digital, digital, and that's currently our meeting place. And we meet twice a week for 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, and work on skills that we both want to enhance.
One more question. Anyone? All right. If you guys are unfamiliar with CrossDot, their office is the first one on the right in BendTECH. Thank you, Senior Squared. Next up, we have ADL Software Foundation. Oh, yeah. It's Jason. Yay!
My name is Jason Weiner. I'm the Vice President of BendTECH. Kelly has been gracious to let me help with BendTECH, and over the course of the last 10 years, I ended up creating a visual programming language that I decided most recently to open source. So I'm here to talk about something called the ADL Software Foundation. It's a 501c3 nonprofit public benefit corporation that focuses on teaching anybody with a desire to learn code to code without having to actually write lines of code. So how many in here know how to write code? How many want to? How many wish they could write code? So 90% of the United States, parents in the United States, wish in some way, shape, or form that their children could learn computer science in some way, shape, or form. So, but unfortunately, more than 30% of schools in the United States don't have a computer science program that kids can learn from, especially in K-12. What the ADL Software Foundation is focused on is solving this problem. When you expose girls to computer science in K-12, they have a 10-time rate of majoring it in college. When you expose disadvantaged communities, they have a 7 times increased rate at majoring it in college. So what ADL is teaching people how to program without the nuances of writing lines of jargon that are very complicated. It's a visual programming language that you can get up and running in about 30 seconds. It's portable, it's intuitive. So what all you end up having to do is string together boxes and arrows into a way that essentially solves a logical problem. Now, tons of kids around the country learn how to code today. They use things like Scratch out of MIT, or blocks, or Hour of Code. The challenge there is that they're learning how to write code to solve a specific problem, being, I want to build a game where I'm going to eat a bunch of acorns, or I'm going to do something with physics. But really, when you reach the limits of that code, when you reach the ceiling of blocks or of Hour of Code, you end up not being able to really take the experiences that you've gotten from blocks into actual modern programming languages. So what ADL does is it's an agnostic development language, ADL. It allows you to write code once and take it anywhere. You can run it on the front end. You can run it in a browser. You can run it in a mobile app. You can run it on a back end in an application and solve problems that you normally couldn't be able to do that if you didn't know modern, complicated programming languages. So we're a 501c3. We've recently been accredited to accept charitable contributions, and we're currently building K-12 programs that we're going to be rolling out here in Bend in the next 6 months. Questions? Adam.
Why 501c3?
So we open sourced all the technology. So I wrote it back in 2010 and 2011, and Yahoo ended up using it to solve a problem for a company that they bought. There's no reason for it to be shelved. So about 2 months ago, people in BendTECH were like, I showed it around, and I sit in a room in the middle of the room over here, and people are like, I can use that. I can solve problems where I'm building websites, I'm building backends, and I don't have to know how to write code. So it's like, I'm not using this. It's sitting on a shelf. Let's make it good for everyone. So we've open sourced the spec. We've open sourced all the languages that it interprets on servers or on the front end. And let's teach people to be better coders nationally.
How do people access it?
So you can go to getadel.org. So it's G-E-T Adele, either the singer, or ADL, which is agnostic development language. So getadel.org. And we're a 501c3, as I said. You can check it out there, and then we will have a Chrome plugin which will allow you to edit any website that you either have access to or you want to experiment with in the next month. So we'll be launching that in the Google Chrome store.
Are you going to launch a beta program with vet schools?
We are. So we're working on that right now. The first thing we're doing is we're working on a one-day curriculum for first and second graders. And then from there, we want to put together a comprehensive K-12 semester-long program that teaches kids logic and pragmatic thinking, as opposed to like, how do I stick together a bunch of Legos to do physics, which they don't understand the physics, and all they understand is like, I want the acorn. I want to put the acorn in the basket. Instead, if you teach kids how to think pragmatically, they're going to take that with them for the rest of their life, and you're never going to be able to take that away from them.
Jason, is Adele named after your daughter?
It is.
Okay. Taylor Mahony. Yes.
All right, thank you, everybody. Did you know in 2014 the combined transaction volume for goods sold on mobile applications was a whopping $51 billion? Fast forward just 5 years to 2019 is projected to be 10 times that, $693 billion over mobile branded applications. Did you know in 2017 Starbucks did over 40% of their sales on their branded mobile app? Not their website, not their mobile optimized website, their branded mobile app. But Starbucks has deep pockets. They have over 15 dedicated developers just working on their mobile app. They also have some outside help. You do the math and it's like just the salaries alone, that's like $2 million per year to build and maintain the Starbucks mobile app. But they did 40% of their total sales that year, and they did $22 billion in revenue. So I'd say it was worth it. But is there a way for companies without the deep pockets, without the resources of a Starbucks, to level the playing field? I'm here to say yes. As a consumer, imagine using your favorite coffee's branded mobile app, paying with just your thumbprint, skipping the line, grabbing it from the counter, and being on your way. Imagine ordering food, let's say maybe at Jackson's Corner from the table, on the Jackson's Corner branded mobile app. Bing, your order's up, your server's there, it's all paid for, time to eat. Imagine you're at Les Schwab Amphitheater taking in a show. You want to choose your food and pay from your seats and not miss the music by going and standing in line at the food trucks just to get your food. Bing, I just got a text message, my order's ready, time to go get it. Imagine you're getting the next round of beers at a 10 barrel with you and 3 buddies. Bing, I just ordered, just paid, and the server's on the way with those beers and my bill is already being split 4 ways automatically. Imagine, as a merchant, being able to pay your employees to build relationships instead of just keying in data or swiping cards at a point of sale system. Imagine having your own branded loyalty program, sending push notifications to your VIPs. You got a new beer, we want you to come try out. Imagine having subscriptions, proactively addressing the lunchtime rush, getting real-time customer feedback, all via your own branded app, and all without hiring a single developer. Can your business really do all this? The answer is yes, with Yes OMS. Questions? What are your pricing models? Great question. So I'm just going into a private beta where I'm going to be working with the models, but every product will offer payments in the app, And the plan is to actually reduce the payment up front to next to nothing because it'll take a small percentage of each transaction. And that'll have additional add-ons at a cost. Kelly?
How do you know so much about payments?
How do I know so much about payments? So I have been working for PayPal for the last 6.5 years. And this actually came up because I was in San Francisco and I went to get the obligatory Phil's coffee. And I saw everyone using the Phil's app. And I said, why does Phil's or Starbucks have the run on that market? Why not have a white label app that can be turned into just about anything? And that's where I got started.
What's the security built in?
Great question. What's the security built in? So we're still using standard processing, Stripe, for managing the card payments. It also just uses Apple Pay. So we never store any card information. We partner with Apple Pay and Google Pay to pay with your thumbprint. We get all of the built-in security that comes along with that. Plus we get all of the anti-fraud, all of the KYC, which means know your customer, all of the security that's built into those existing systems.
So for small businesses, restaurant, it sounds like it's going to be the whole point of sale system because you're not going to have two meetings.
That's right. So that's why it's, yes, OMS. Originally, it's meant to make the system easier for customers, but it's an OMS to differentiate itself from a POS because we know there's been zero innovation on the point of sale system in 15 years. The cash register is still exactly the same as it was.
What does OMS stand for?
What does OMS stand for? Order Management System.
We have Jody Barrett with Brand A.
Everybody refreshed? Okay, listen up. This part is all about you. Have you ever been passed up for a promotion or not gotten a job where you've had spot-on qualifications? Or maybe you haven't gotten sales or referrals that you were expecting to get? I know that's happened to me, and it's left me wondering, what am I doing that I'm not aware of? So often, there's a disconnect between how we view ourselves, our self-perception, and how others view us, our personal brand. Now, I know we've all also had, that well-intentioned mentor, friend, parent, counselor tell us it doesn't matter what people think about you, just be you and everything will be great. I'd love to think that were true, but the reality is that it does matter what people think about you because other people's perceptions of you influence who they want to do business with, if they want to work with you, or even if they want to hang out with you. So I'm Jody Barrett, and I'm the founder of Brand A, an innovative online tool that allows you to solicit feedback about you or your business so you can reach your full potential. A Brand A assessment can be for individuals, intact teams, or businesses. And we solicit confidential, authentic, and unfiltered feedback on 5 personal brand dimensions for the individual. That's your values. How do people perceive your values? What drives the choices you make and how you treat other people? Your personality, how you outwardly show up. Are you loud? Are you flaky, reliable, or even intimidating? Your skills and abilities. What are you known for that you do really, really well? The 4th personal brand dimension is your physical presentation, everything from your body language to potentially your body odor. And last, but Brandon, we think probably the most important personal brand dimension is the impact you have on people, that emotional reaction they have to you. Because no matter how smart you are, how qualified you are, or talented, if you make people feel frustrated or stupid or less than, they're not going to want to work with you. For teams and businesses, we solicit feedback for you on cumulative experiences, expertise, perceived expertise of the team, as well as that emotional impact. A Brand A assessment comes with a complete customized report that allows you to compare your self-impression, self-perception,
with how others perceive you, so you can determine if there is a disconnect and course correct. So, we'll wrap it up. We leave that feedback as a gift, and our gift to you today is to be a beta tester for a product that's going to be launching soon. Pass this around. If you'd like to be a beta tester, please sign up. We just ask in return that you answer a couple questions for us. And remember, a vote for BrandAid is a vote for all of us to reach our full potential.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background that gives you the qualification to do this?
So my background is I've done a lot of things. I'm a recovering lawyer. For anything, quite honestly. But I've also spent many years as an HR executive and organizational development and effectiveness executive in Silicon Valley. So I have a lot of experience seeing how those behaviors and blind spots kind of get in the way, and nobody wants to give you feedback. And the reason is you know, you get shocked. The messenger gets shocked. So how do you get that feedback that can help you do better? And this is a tool that will allow you to do it. Any other questions?
Questions?
Can you tell us more about what the assessment process looks like?
Sure. So it's a little bit different for teams than it is for business or individuals, but it's all laid out in the tool. But essentially, you go in, you do a self-assessment, and then you think about the audience with whom you want to solicit feedback. Many of us have a different personal brand with our family and friends than we might have in our professional lives. So you can choose, I just want to solicit feedback from colleagues, or from my business, customers, clients, intact team stakeholders. And they would receive an invitation from BrandAid to take the survey and provide the feedback on your behalf. Responses are confidential. There are a couple open-ended questions, and we warn people that they are self-identifying. They will be, the recipient will receive them unedited, so please don't repeat, they self-identify. So in closing, that's a huge
Thank you for listening to BrandAid. Also, some of these business ideas are so interesting, well, all of them are, and feel free to find people in the audience now or afterwards to ask them questions that don't get answered. Next up, we have Shannon with Adventure Guru.
What's up, UnConference? And hello, Tom. Thank you for the caffeine. All right, who here has had trouble finding cool outdoor adventures when you're traveling? Anyone? I hear ya. I'm sure a lot of you have used those single sport sites out there, but what if you like to run more than one sport? Then what? Are you have to research 5 different sports, sort through countless poor quality photos to figure out how to plan your fun? Well, that sucks, right? So my name is Shannon McGivney, and I founded Adventure Guru, your solution. Basically, it's a Zillow for adventure. We hunt out and film the best adventures in a region. Then we take that film in 30-second concentrated snippets of fun. We plop it on an interactive map, okay? So now you're left with every icon being a map. So in 30 seconds, you're gonna learn whether or not that's worth an hour-long drive, okay? What shoe wear to wear, whether or not it's stroller and chair friendly, and current trail conditions. All in a fun package of a 30-second video. And as you find adventures that you're inspired to go on, you can save them into your bucket list for later when you're ready to take off. Okay, so it's already getting pretty cool, right? Well, we didn't stop there. What we're going to do, we're going to change the face of the adventurer. The outdoor industry has a huge diversity problem. We think the entire spectrum of humanity is beautiful. We want every one of you to see yourself on Adventure Guru. We want you to know that nature is for you. So we're dedicated to having every age, fitness, ethnicity, sexuality, and ability level represented on Adventure Guru. So now it's getting pretty powerful stuff, right? We didn't stop there either. We're doing something that I've never seen done before, okay? We have built-in custom filters to serve people with disabilities. So no matter if you're hunting down for adaptive skiing, or if you just want to get into the trees and away from the cars, you can find an adventure that you have access to. Yeah! I believe people with disabilities are the most underserved in the outdoor community. So when I can build something that will serve everyone, and will be critical to some. I know that I'm doing my part to tip equality, the scales of equality, back towards equal access to nature's medicine. Okay, that's great, Shannon, but how does it make money? We're going to make money through commissions, product placement, featured adventures, and sponsorships. Our MVP site is live now, and our custom build is slated for release next month. Woohoo! If we win, we're going to use the money to add adaptive programming so that people who are blind or deaf will have no problems navigating our site. Okay, and then why me? I worked as a paramedic for 10 years, problem solving and making high-stakes decisions. Then after a back injury, I moved abroad, living internationally for about 7 years, studying adventure. I wrote 12 adventure lifestyle books in that time, and now I've compiled all my skills in order to transition from saving lives to saving your quality of life. So she's giving me the hook. So vote for Adventure Guru, and together we're going to change the world one adventure at a time. Questions? Yes, 70.
What are the videos like?
The videos are like 30 to 60 snippets of fun. So they're filmed in a very unique way. Instead of a Nat Geo filming where you're left like awed, but you're like, wow, if I win the lottery, I'm totally going there. But I can't afford to now, so I'm sad. That's not what we do. We actually have the humans in the videos so that you can see everyone goofing off, having a good time, and you can see the level of fun there. You can see the highlights, you can see the terrain, you can see the overhead. And so really you understand if there's shade, if there's sun, what shoe wear to wear, and then we even have a cool feature that adds current trail conditions. So as a user, you can say, oh, there's a tree down, or hey, there's snow to your knees, so wear some boots. Things like that. So thanks for that question. You were first. Go ahead.
Are you starting like just in Central Oregon, or are you doing?
Good question. The question was, am I starting in Central Oregon? Our base camp is here in Bend. We're a local company. We are already in 13 countries and 80 cities. Now we haven't finished filming those cities, but we've hit them. So we hit them with a rock. And so we have a target of 16 additional cities in the U.S. that we want to actually fulfill 10 adventures in those cities. And so part of the way we're growing is crowdsourcing our videos, so that way we get different humans, different looking people, and so they actually film their fun on their smartphones and they upload it really easily to our site. We do all the work, we do all the editing, you just share your fun, and then we get a new human and a new location on our site. So that's how we're growing in diversity and crowdsourcing and changing the world. One question.
So the users submit the videos?
The users, we also produce, but we're inviting and asking everyone around the world to submit their fun so that we can inspire others that look like them to get outside and resource and access nature's wellness. Thank you so much.
All right, next up we have Treewell and Tommy Chipman.
Not nearly as caffeinated as you. Hey, how are you guys? I'm Tommy Chipman, and I started Treewell. I started some other companies too here in Bend, and I sell software for Visa. I work at BendTECH. I know the people at BendTECH. They're awesome. If you want to work remote, it's a great place. And I've worked with the people at EdCo too. They're really awesome. So if you're starting a business, talk to them. They're really awesome. So winter is coming. Who here has a ski pass actually? Who knows what a tree well is? So for those of you who didn't raise your hand, a tree well is when we get a lot of snow and there's no snow around the bottom of a tree, and it's a very, very scary thing. You can fall into it, upside down, or like into it, and then you can't use your hands, you can't get out. So 20% of all deaths on the mountain on resorts are tree well deaths. It's a lot. And it happens to us in the Cascades fairly often. We had 3 last year. It's pretty sad. So last year I was backcountry with some friends. We started talking about this, and I thought, why isn't there a tool? So we built one. So Treewell is an app. There's 2 apps. It's actually a system. One for Mount Bachelor. They're our official partner. We're building it with them. They're giving us a ton of feedback. We're working with Ski Patrol. And then there's an app for people on the mountain. If you fall into a tree well, it automatically senses that fall. It sends your lat and longitude to people that you have on your list, your any of your medical conditions, and then it sends also your Latin and information and the time that you fell to ski patrol. So we're hoping to save at least one life. If we save one life, it's worth it. So I don't know what else. Let's see you guys want to know. Any questions? It's pretty simple.
What's your ask?
Yeah. Oh, if we get $2,000, I'm gonna buy my season pass. No, just kidding. So we're self-funded. We built this all by ourselves, and we're gonna give it to every single Mount Bachelor pass holder for free this year. So, we're gonna give it to every pass holder for free, and then eventually we're gonna charge $15 a year. It will do other things. Right now, we're really focused on specifically tree well falls. You can actually also hit a button and request help. So if you're like on Northwest or you're on the back side of the mountain and you need help, you can hit a request button. It will go to dispatch at Mount Bachelor, and they'll send someone to get you. Any questions?
What are you looking at for the response time?
We don't know yet. So we start testing in November. So this is, we have this. So we have an app. We have 2 apps. We'll start testing in November, and it will be available to all of you in December.
Does it require cell coverage there? And what
So,
is cell coverage?
yeah, so great question. So cell coverage, yes and no. So right now, first version is all cell coverage. For the nerds in here, we're working on a mesh network. So we've invented a really cool thing we call Citizen Rescuer. And Citizen Rescuer, if you get involved and you fall, and if someone falls and you're the closest person, will alert you, like an Amber Alert on your phone. And we have instructions on how to help that person. So if the more people that are using it on the mountain, the better the coverage is.
Seems pretty dependent on the quality of the classifier, classifying a fall in a tree well versus anything else on the mountain.
Yeah, that's a really great question. So the question was, what about different falls, or if you're doing a backflip? So the sensors on your phone are actually really good, and we've been developing them for quite a while. As they get tested, they'll get better. But a sudden stop and an upside down fall is actually a pretty unique fall. And we're using some of the other sensors on the phone to decide how that works. It will get better. Eventually you'll be able to pick if you're a skier, snowboarder, a kid, an adult, weight, and then we'll be making that better as we go on. Any questions?
Is there like a little cancel button? So let's say you flipped,
Yeah.
but you didn't go in a tree well and you don't want people going to try to save you.
Yeah, so the question was, is there a cancel button or false positives, right? So false positives are our #1 priority, which is why we're working with Mount Bachelor and the ski patrol team. We will not release this app until they say it works, and we trust it. We don't want them out there chasing people who have just like done a backflip or something. So yes, there is a cancel button, and also we hope to use machine learning in the future to essentially sense that. We're also doing some cool things too. If you leave the mountain, we'll automatically turn it off. At the end of the day, at 4:45 or 5 o'clock, we'll actually do a sweep, and if any of the apps are still active, we'll send a notice to Mount Bachelor and tell them that you're still on the mountain.
Is there any liability issues for you or Mount Bachelor?
Yeah, liability, great question. Just like when you buy a season pass on the back, it says they're not liable, very similar. We're hoping it's kind of like a seatbelt or a life vest, right? It's not going to save you every single time, but we really hope to increase your survivability in an accident. Liability, no. You do have to say that we're not liable when you download the app, but great question. I definitely need a lawyer.
Okay, next up we have Healthy Way, Gary Mendoza. Gary?
Every day, more than 15,000 people in this country are being transported by ambulance. Many are in pain, all are stressed, few know where they should go. That might not be a big problem, except that EMTs don't often know where to go. As a result, patients go to the facilities that aren't best suited for their care. I'm Gary Mendoza. Our EMS Logics routes ambulances to the best facility for patient care. We take into account factors like the patient's condition, the availability of ED space, real-time trafficking considerations. But approximately 2/3 of patients are transport stable, meaning there's an opportunity to take into account other factors like their insurance arrangements, like their network arrangements. So we don't just get them to the best network facility, but the best in-network facility for their care where there's time to do that. One of the most topical issues in healthcare right now is surprise, medical bills. This is a very elegant solution to a big source of that problem. We're doing more than providing the enabling technology. We're also assembling the EMS delivery network by giving EMTs a tool to better serve patients and a new source of sustaining revenues. LA County Fire Department has given us a letter of intent to deploy. Alameda County supportive, San Diego, Boston, and North Carolina. Our customers are health plans and others that pay the cost of care. And we've been in extensive discussions with health plans for many years. My wife will tell you way too long. But we have something that allows them to better serve their patients and something they really do care about, reduce costs. We offer this on an annual basis for a setup cost and then a fee for rerouting patients to the preferred in-network facility. We estimate that we capture half of the available reroutes in LA County. We generate $50 million of revenues and $15 million of EBITDA. Our CTO has 20 plus years of IT and health IT experience. Our advisory board includes people that understand the actuarial implications of what's better for patients, how the ED operates, and how health systems operate. During my career, I've crafted several features of the healthcare landscape, and this is another opportunity. If you're interested in shaping healthcare tomorrow, we should talk. Thanks.
Questions for Gary?
How are you going to integrate this on ambulances and dispatch?
However they prefer. So our enabling technology is very agnostic. Data structure agnostic, data protocol exchange agnostic, mobile delivery agnostic. Ambulances have ePCRs as the kind of their ersatz version of EMRs, but can also go on iPads or mobile devices. We have very strong data security, so we can deploy on those kind of devices. Data security is table stakes in healthcare.
So you are trying to bring it to Central Oregon? Is that the idea?
Well, Central Oregon is not necessarily a good market for this particular product because there's really only one facility to go to. And our target market are municipal areas with 500,000 people or more and competing hospital systems, of which there are well over 100 in the United States. LA County is the second largest EMT system in the country, so that's a pretty good place to start. But this is a problem throughout the country. This is not an isolated problem. And once you're in the ambulance is the most undervalued point of care in healthcare. I mean, when 911 is called, the healthcare system's gearing up. But no one's thinking about what's actually done in the ambulance. So this is a start. We're bringing the ambulance into healthcare, and we're giving the healthcare system an ability to plug into the potential benefits of taking full advantage of the ambulance, dealing with patients in extremist conditions.
One question left. Shannon?
As a 10-year veteran paramedic, I'm curious, basically when there are different critical states, so there has to be a stroke center, there has to be heart center, has to be trauma, so all these things we have to consider when we're delivering our patients. In addition to that, there's always, hospitals are closed, they're busy, so we have our own system in order to take the patient to the appropriate facility. So in LA or in San Diego, if they say Kaiser, and Kaiser is 55 minutes away with current conditions, and we're at a level 3, meaning 3 ambulances are running the entire city, it doesn't seem like it calculates that in. We can't take that ambulance out of service for 2 hours because they have Kaiser insurance.
Well,
we got to take that question offline.
All right.
Well, all our recommendations are aligned with the relevant regulatory protocols. So the question you're answering is built into the algorithm.
Good job, Gary. Good job. Next up, we have Tom Flyer. You guys got a dog. You win a dog.
All right, we're in the home stretch here, guys. So let me paint a picture for you guys. You're at a music festival at night. You've had more than a few drinks with your friends. Inevitably, it's time to use the porta potty. So you've been patiently waiting in line for your turn for the bathroom. And because it's dark out, logic says, pull out your phone's flashlight to assess the situation. In your inebriated state, you pull out your $1,000 flashlight and splash. Your weekend has taken a sharp turn for the worse. My name is Tom Squire. I'm a digital marketer by day and a DJ by night. I've created a marketing solution to this biological problem. I'm designing a fashion-first, color LED pendant necklace that doubles as a flashlight. It's something you can wear all day and all night long. By day, it's a stylish pendant. At night, you turn it on for a subtle and unique light-up accessory. When it comes time to taking care of business, you've got a powerful flashlight at the ready. Now, I'm 100% aware the problem of darkness has already been solved. When I go to festivals, I bring a headlamp with me, but I end up blinding my friends, and they just look at me like, what are you doing? So, or I wear it around my neck, and every photo that I'm in looks like an ad for camping gear. So, this is a fun fashion play with a highly targetable, addressable audience of 32 million festival goers each year. This functional accessory is a combination of readily available LED technology, design and aesthetic, and a rock-solid marketing plan. I know you've all seen successful examples of social media campaigns. Think Casper Mattress, Chubby Shorts, the Squatty Potty, or something else not targeted at a 30-year-old male. Well, I'm the nerd behind the computer that uses analytics, advanced audience targeting, conversion rate optimization to make campaigns like that successful, effective, and profitable. The primary sales would be online, direct-to-consumer. I use my connections in the music industry to put me in touch with festival vendors and distributors. Speaking with manufacturers, estimates are $3 to $6 a unit. Products like this, flashlights, etc., retail for $25 to $30. Giving me an 80 to 90% profit margin selling direct. I'd love advice on contract product design. If I win today, the money would do a huge benefit to actually designing this prototype, and I would start a Kickstarter campaign. So the timing is perfect. Music festivals are more popular than ever. It's an easy purchase for your gift, for a gift, or for yourself. From my personal experience, I know the audience. Professional experience, I know how to find them, and porta potties at music festivals will always be disgusting. Questions?
Sorry if you answered this, but how much will it cost?
$2 to $6 to make, depending.
And retail?
25 to 30, similar to any like flashlight, headlight kind of thing.
Will it do anything else besides light things up? Can it hold information? Can I use this for my ticket? Hold my beer?
Features will be included. I was planning on starting with one design and then adding and iterating as it becomes more and more popular.
What happens when I just put lights in porta potties?
Why haven't they done that yet?
I don't know.
Any other questions?
Have you done market research to see how many people might want to buy your product?
Speaking from personal experience, I know that the festival industry, it's all about accessories. People are spending lots of money on something to make them look cool, and a cool light-up LED necklace there's nothing like nothing like it right now.
So why not earrings and nose rings and every other accessory?
There are light-up earrings and other things like that, but the idea is that it's a very functional flashlight for sticky situations. You know, looking in your backpack for things, porta potties, any other time where you need a flashlight at night. That is, you don't want to carry one with you all day generally.
Can you turn it on? I want to see how bright it is.
Oh, this is just a regular necklace. Yeah, this.
Is that what it's going to look like?
It'll look like whatever you want it to look like.
Well-known designers have
Exactly, yeah, there's all sorts of ideas.
What's the name of your company if people want to vote?
Well, my DJ name is Thom, and on the app, I'm the guy with the necklace. I haven't named it yet.
Thank you so much for sticking around. If Andy and Amanda from Pure Polish can come up.
But raise your hands, how many of you own leather boots? Leather.
shoes, watches, belts, wallets, purses, furniture, cars, equestrian, cowboys. So the global leather industry, goods industry, is in the hundreds of billions spent annually, and typically uses toxic ingredients, non-natural ingredients. That's bad for the earth, bad for the person putting it on, and bad for the experience. So we've been doing this for a little over a year now, and we sell it worldwide. We make it all by hand, the two of us. We ship it to different countries, jars, cans. We're known as a shoe polish, and we are getting our reach out there by providing a full sensory experience difference. It looks like these. We've got all natural earth pigments. It uses coconut oil for the saturating oil, which has been tested for lowest rancidity rate. It uses the orange oil for the solvent, beeswax, carnauba wax, and so it's all natural, non-toxic, biodegradable, earth-friendly, and a full sensory experience. So it's good for the user, good for the chemistry of the leather, and good for the earth. So we're going to go to the next. You may recognize us from the Northwest Crossing Farmers Market, where we go on the weekends during the summer. We met a lot of you there. We sold cases of our cleaner conditioner. Everybody loved it on their couches and boots. These are some pictures just showing that we have distribution worldwide. This is one of our shoe bloggers from Portland. Next one. We've got New York. We've got Chelsea boots. People love showing off the look because it has a beautiful aesthetic, and we love to show off both the visual appeal, and that will provide kind of the sex appeal behind it, so people can start making the change. Marketing has really shifted, and if you can get people loving the aesthetic of it, then it can really kind of pull the whole industry in that regard. We're already starting to talk to shoe companies. This is a bespoke shoemaker from Spain who gave it to a custom client for over $3,000 in Switzerland and used only our products on it. This is a shoemaker in Canada who used our products on it. This is in Norway, a shoe repair specialist. Now, like I said, we show off shoes because of the sex appeal, but it's all leather. The chemistry has been tested on the highest end leather. Shoes use the highest end leather, and that's what we're going there for. This is China, another bespoke maker, our distributor in Hong Kong. This is Norway again, Sweden for boots. We've got some reviews here. The cleaner conditioner is awesome. It made my shoes look almost new. I love the great orange fragrance, and I'm very happy to have found a non-toxic product that really works. For great smelling shoe stuff, Pure Boss is awesome. It smells like one has landed in the middle of an orange grove. Okay, so I guess we're on to questions. Anybody have questions?
Do you have any products for applying or just the polish?
We just do the polish right now. We do recommendations. I have a very heavily invested blog and YouTube and Instagram where I go over all the details, what cloth to use, muslin cloth, flannel cloth, everything that people can use. And I love when people can find their own solutions. But yeah. Any other questions? Yes?
What's the cost and the price?
We make it for between $1.50 and $2, and it sells for $12.50, and the jar sells for $25. We have 13 stores worldwide that carry us, and the highest end men's store in Canada, Harry Rosenberg, Playstyle in Edmonds with us. Yes.
How are you planning to market it? How are you marketing it now?
We do very direct with Instagram. We're very heavy with all the influencers. All these pictures were pictures of influencers who contacted us and reached us, distribute it. And then through events. We've used the money to attend larger events that we can get out there. We've really spent a year connecting with the community. Now we need further exposure. This will help us kind of scale and get exposure and be used directly straight into the company. We keep very lean and just just go straight into it. Yes?
How did you get into that? What's your history?
I did business consulting for over 10 years of marketing and growing small business companies, and I loved shoes and watches. And a guy here was an analyst and did the chemistry and got a New York Times article on it calling it shoe polish worthy of Wall Street. And he got sick and couldn't do it. We took over, and we've been doing it for a year. We fell in love with it. Yes.
So, random question. A lot of the same products that you have in your particular polish are also used in natural deodorants. Are you looking at any other product extensions? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, this is about ingredients in different other products. We would love to get into other areas. We're going with one. Like I said, we're very lean. We want to get worldwide sex appeal first. It influences the marketing, then we have the traction to get the industry reach. So,
is on Shopify. All right, our very last pitch, if you guys can believe it, Friendometry, Daniel Cruz.
Hi. Thanks for listening. My name is Daniel Cruz. I'm a pediatric neuropsychologist. This idea that I had is spawned from my last decade of work at OHSU and St. Charles, but it's completely my own venture. But before I get started, I did want to recognize one of my first early adopters, my friend, Jared. He's a little smart. He's got a real estate agent at Fred, if you need one. But I want to introduce you. So Friendometry is a friendship locator for kids that have difficulty making friends, and it's parent-driven. So I want you to visualize something for me. I'm going to demonstrate the problem. So visualize a third grade boy or girl that's had some peer rejection and having difficulty making friends. And now imagine and visualize the pain they're going through. And now visualize the pain that their parents are going through while they watch their children navigate this. So that's the problem. I have been doing this working with children and families for close to 20 years now, and had this idea about a decade ago. And childhood loneliness and peer rejection have lifelong consequences. It leads to mood challenges, people contemplating suicide, and later health challenges. And so I developed Friendometry. It is a friendship locator for parents. Parents go onto the website. They complete an anonymous, strengths-based profile of their child's personality characteristics and interests. And then they type in Bend, Oregon, or Miami, Florida, New York City, and it pulls up all the profiles in their area. And then the parents internal message with each other anonymously until they want to take that relationship offline and meet up for friends. And so the product is not designed for your everyday, typically developing child. It's meant for a child that has some neurodevelopmental differences such as autism, ADHD, and a variety of other things, maybe just general quirkiness. And these are kids that have significant challenges finding, sustaining, and making friends. And so I have developed this. It's up and going. It's been successful in Central Oregon. It's my test market. And we have a variety of testimonials that have demonstrated that kids are meeting each other through their parents' access. And it's safe. It's completely parent-driven. We collect a credit card. It's $19.99 a year. And so the credit card is also used to deter riffraff, and we lock it down also. So that's my time. I could talk about our business model if anybody has any questions about that.
What's your business model?
Right now, it is a reoccurring membership plan, so it's $19.99 a year. I want to make it affordable for parents, and then it reoccurs every year after that. And so it does have the flexibility to adapt to different business models, such as advertising and things like that. And so right now we're using a membership model, and we're trying to get over that early adopter hump. And that's what I would do with the $2,500 is I would put that directly back into targeted marketing in Central Oregon to double my test market and to get product feedback so I can scale it up to regional and eventually national, and I want to go global and with multiple languages. Yes?
Oftentimes, some of the families with children with disability are the most taxed as far as resources are concerned. Have you considered doing a scholarship or some kind of thing where people can fund those kids?
If you know anybody, I give it away for free. So I'm not in it to make a lot of money, although the profit margins are gigantic. Just run some numbers in your mind. And so I don't really care if I want as many people to use it. The more people on the website, the better. Yes?
Do you have any mechanism to get feedback to see if relationships are extended and working?
Yeah, right now I am soliciting feedback, and the return rate on that is pretty slim. And that's actually what I would do with some of the money, is provide an incentive for the users to give me feedback on that. So I'd provide a reward for them. One more question.
Have you thought about also having a like mom connector, like other types of, since the parents are
Yeah, I have Friendometry 9.0, 10.0, and 11.0, and eventually employing some individuals with neurodevelopmental differences. If you don't vote for me, it's basically saying, okay, I'm just going to know that now.
Will you come up here just so I can look and be double sure? So guys, we have a first ever situation in which second and third tied. I told you it was close. So we're going to take the second and third prizes, we're going to mash them together and then divide them evenly. So will the second and third people, when I call your name, come up, and then what I want the front row people to do is just like throw the money on them so they can run through a money tunnel. So, tie for second and third, which would be winning, help me do the math, $750 each plus a free BendTECH membership is yes, OMS.